Hi there. So, I just want to say I'm doing great. Um, it's been an extremely beneficial therapeutic process I have put myself through that has finally produced the results within myself that I have been looking for. So, I would like to explain the previous video that was uploaded just more to clarify. See, I mean every word in that video, but in an esoteric wish, prayer, manifestation type of way. Um, See, I believed that I was in a very strong emotional state, and I knew that I was talking directly to the force of evil because I've made many videos here on this channel, some of which I am so insanely proud of. One that I'm really, really proud of is a tribute video I did for Jason David Frank after he took his own life. And it was at that point, and there was a lot of other times when I guess I knew, but that really, when your childhood hero is taken in a way that hits really close to home, you start investigating evil very seriously. And you do that knowing, like, hey, this person actually believed in the concept of evil as a real force in our world that is doing all of us harm. That's the idea of believing in Christ and believing in the devil, that, they believe that there is hope, a savior, salvation, that there's a superhero, but they also believe that there's, a super villain. That's essentially what it all boils down to. And I looked at everything that was going on in the world and things I was experiencing, and I just went, all right, I want to prove, at least to myself, um, what feels the most right. And, I understood that all I would have to do would be find things that could contradict what I found to be true. And I realized it would be really easy because it seemed to me that the way that, if we look at it like Star Wars' version of the Force, when I would be at the most magical, also kind of being like a wizard from Harry Potter or a superhero from any number of franchises, it was this whole adage of when I was doing the right stuff that would benefit me and at the least hurt no one else, but also potentially help other people, let's say. You had to look at it like, if we don't truly know how certain things work, like how to cure certain things or whatever, if we just kind of know results that we want, but if you look at the world, there's no definitive way to achieve those results, and that's why we're all so confused, then I think at the end of the day, you just have to be the person who's like, I'm cool being a guinea pig. I want to test these theories out on myself because the only problem where science has failed us is when they, you know, test on people, especially against their consent, without fully informing them of things. And I figured that the type of stuff that I was testing, which is essentially kind of figuring out that, yeah, you either get busy living or you get busy dying. But when I understood that I was diabetic and I had all of these really weird, bizarre health things I was going through. One, I would like to point out that evil really likes to try to fuck with me when I'm at my strongest. So I find it very fascinating that nobody had any concern for me, my health, my well being when I was really in the thick of it. But it is really fascinating that when I made a video that was basically telling evil, go fuck yourself in the strongest possible terms, to where I could believe all of those things, but without actually hurting myself. What does it mean to say those things otherwise? It means to go, hey, that's how I feel. And as Care Bears have taught us, feeling that way is perfectly fine. If there's something in the world that you cherish that means everything to you and was taken, number one, the things aren't really taken from us because we can honor them. If it's a person or something like that, if it's an object, even, you can take what that meant to you, what you learned from it, what you did with it, and you can find another way of doing those things. Uh, that's the only way of letting evil truly win, is to allow them, essentially, I would try to put it in the simplest terms, to destroy a feeling you want. If you loved the way that this person in your life made you feel, the way to truly go, if there is a way to actually kill evil, it would be to just hold good in your heart. Because I believe in the esoteric. I'm not talking about actually finding a person, because I believe if I found that person, it wouldn't matter if I could actually John Wick his ass or not. I believe that the ultimate evil has surpassed life and death and is in control of things in a way that the only way to destroy that force is to destroy that force by making a more powerful one. So if you believe that you're facing fear, evil, despair, just all of the negative shit, you have to go, well, how is it possible that as a diabetic with a severe physical health condition that I can tell you that the only thing that changes the way that I feel, and it has nothing to do with my blood sugar levels. It has nothing to do with if I've smoked weed, drank alcohol, caffeine, taken certain medications. I have ran the gamut of tests on this shit over the last 5 years since quarantine started. That's when I really dedicated myself to this cause and this mission. And I have seen that the only thing that produced good results for me, what does that mean? I don't feel like I'm dying anymore. I am very peaceful, happy in my life. I'm grateful to be here. I know that I'm achieving my goals simply because I've done, what would you call it? The imaginative, spiritual, quantum based work. You know, I went in here in my head and I went, what is causing me problems? What do I not like about myself? When do I not feel good? When do I feel good? How can I, if I'm trying to actually prove that weed isn't just something you can smoke, but that you're actually capable of going, well, if we do anything really just because we want to increase the positive and we want to dial down the negative, and if most of us really can't hold on to those results, that we have to keep doing things to replicate them, I would view the ultimate confirmation that I'm correct about everything would be to test yourself. Ultimately, it would be, all right, let's remove the most strong chemicals. So if I smoke weed every day and that could potentially make me more comfortable, could dial down pain or anything like that, you know, if we're trying to determine if my therapeutic, physical, mental, spiritual well-being is truly where I believe it to be, and I know it is, well, then I have to see the results for myself. I have to experience them. So I have to, go off of smoking weed, but ensuring that it's where you smoked a certain quantity, and now, if anything, it's kind of like when you're doing a keto diet. You're going to dial down all of those things slowly because you don't want to have a catastrophic failure either, because if you're rebuilding chemicals and doing a therapeutic thing, the way that you prove that it works is going, okay, I now know what I need to do to feel good. And so if it's working for me, it works by I can do less, it lasts longer, and then eventually you're there, because it's like a journey. Evidently, that's what I found. Well, I am about to complete that journey. That doesn't mean anything scary, folks. What does that mean? I'm going to stop smoking as much weed. I'm going to dial down my caffeine content, and I'm actually just plain old fashioned not going to have any alcohol. Because I drank a little bit over the last few days because I realized that was something I hadn't done in a really long time, and I wanted to see what that was like again. And ultimately, all it did was just put me in this state where I was able to feel every single thing at once in an inside out Pixar movie kind of way. What does that mean? The exact adage of feeling so despairful, but also so hopeful, because I believed, as I was saying, oh, I want evil to die. I don't care if I'm here. It's like, yeah, but I say that knowing that I'm here for a reason. I say that knowing that I don't wish anyone harm. I wish that the evil that's harming all of us would stop. And I believe firmly that what I found is that when you listen to evil in any way, you are feeding it. And so what I'm about to do is to starve evil out simply by not feeding it. That's not crazy. I mean, it's esoteric, it's spiritual, but at this point, it's also a scientific experiment for myself. Because I was the type of person who could find value in religion and all these things, but I never believed in the real magic of it. And the fact is, prayer, wish, manifestation, it means all these things are magical. And that the thing that really enables it to be successful is how much that you believe that you deserve and are worthy of love. Because if you believe that you are worthy of love, then you are able to actually love yourself in a way that doesn't feel egotistical, arrogant, or like you're hurting anyone. You're just sitting there going, what's wrong with enjoying my own company? What's wrong with being my best friend? What's wrong with being my soulmate? I learned all of those things through spiritual truth. I could not tell you what taught me the thing. Well, I can, but you would have difficult time believing it. Because to me, it's clearly the Force, magic, spirits, good guardian angels, and they can be demonic guardian angels, you know. They don't have to hail just from one side or the other. I don't say that judgmentally like an alignment matters. I just know that the universe has gone, hey, you matter to us. I don't know what the fuck else is up with anything else, but all we're going to tell you is that you matter to us because if you just believe us. And what does that mean? We want you to embrace everything that we've told you, but where you go, hey, the part where we worry about keeping our feet on the ground is this. Because we're afraid that if we give ourselves to something like this, it is going to make us do something that we should not do. And we know the things we should not do because we know that will be a harmful thing for ourselves and a harmful thing for a person that doesn't deserve harm. The only person that deserves harm is the person who's harming everyone and refuses to stop. And I would have to say, can we not all agree on that? If there was truly one evil person who is in charge of all of reality and is making all of us suffer, can we not agree? Fuck that person. They suck. There's no reason for that. I've proven that because I tried to embrace all sorts of things like suffering and thinking it was my fault and thinking I was a sinner. The only thing that worked was when I believed that I was undervaluing myself. I wasn't loving myself enough. That accepting and embracing what I was told just meant, hey, stop even caring about the actual labels, the story. Just realize we're essentially telling you that you are so fucking loved, you matter so fucking much, you are so fucking awesome, and you can see the results of this and how it benefits both your physical world, your mental world, and everything of the sort. You have every reason to believe that. You just don't know how. You don't know how it would work that way because it defies every single thing that you were taught. It means that every single thing essentially that you know, that you believed, that you trusted in, other than these things, was a lie. What does that mean? It means it's ultimately what's revealed at the end of the Disney Hunchback of Notre Dame film. That truly, those people who told us there were bad things, there were scary things, there were evil things, they were either under its direct influence or they were literally selling us lies. Because the only evil in the world is just giving in to fear and despair. Because if you can sit in a scary situation or in a hopeless situation, and if you can actually find and turn on your own light and just turn the negative into a positive, yeah, the only thing that makes people like that look crazy is because they are so desperate to convince others, not because they want any. Like, I could have made everything on this video, on this channel, so believable in a way that would have, I think, fucked up the results I got because I'm a lot smarter and I'm a lot more talented than I allow myself to appear. But I just didn't care about doing it for any reason other than the right reasons, you know? I just wanted to sit here and go, okay, at my not best, I should be able to achieve the results I'm looking for, unless there's really an evil force that would be trying to stop someone like me. And I actually kept telling myself, I'm like, yeah, the more that I'm stopped, the more it really appears that I can't achieve the simplest goals. That means that I'm right about the biggest, most important one. And that means, yeah, evil is real, but that's actually a good thing, not a bad thing. What does that mean? It means, like, yeah, cancer is real, but it's not an unknown. It's a very easy curable thing because of the same thing that's giving people cancer or is causing them to both die or survive from it, then it has to be directly connected to what's allowing me to finally take back control of my diabetes in a way that my health is not negatively impacted, that I'm getting better, not worse, and that those good results have not gone away, that I was also able to achieve them in a way that's completely batshit insane because it would have been an equation like of actually having really high blood sugar, drinking alcohol, doing stupid shit. But it's only stupid because we're told it's stupid. We're told that could have no positive outcome. But I was just like, okay, as long as I'm doing this and I don't shoot up a school, I don't build a bomb, and I do none of that shit that we know is fucked up. And, like, yeah, even if you're right, who the fuck's gonna listen to you once you've done all that? Because if that was how we win the war, they've already done that. You gotta do some new shit. You know? So that's what I was sitting here doing. I'm like, I believe in all of this shit. So I gotta figure out how to do something different since I'm only believing in shit that exists in our world and just trying to find the solution that nobody else has found. How do you do that? You look for solutions. Simple as that. That's what I've done, and I found them for myself, and that's what matters the most to me. And I'll get back to you in a little while. I would say I'm going to give it at least a month or so because I would really like to see that I can taper myself down and then not need anything. And then occasionally do things just to go, wow, my normal is so high that now when I get high, like this is some next level Neverland Peter Pan awesomeness. Like, I, I'm so ready for that. And the only thing I can do to achieve that is to play the game. What does that mean? I'm going to play some video games. I'm going to smoke some weed. I'm going to think some cool, introspective, esoteric thoughts. I'm going to keep to myself very peacefully in my house, like I've done for these 5 years. And I'm not even going to make any more videos or any more posts online because at this point, I've gotten out of all of this what I could. And the only reason why I had to do this was because the last time I thought that, it's like, you're not quite there yet, but you are so fucking close that this next part is going to be awesome. And if you knew it was going to be awesome, you would have learned nothing from it. It had to be a little scary so that you could sit there going, all right, no matter what happened, the worst outcome I could think of did not happen. And as a matter of fact, I got outcomes that were closer to the best outcome I could have hoped or dreamed for. So I'm like, I cannot wait. Absolutely cannot wait to see what life is going to be like embracing that version of reality. Where all I have to do is just keep loving my heart. And that means the only thing that I hate and despise is the idea of evil itself. And that's it. I believe it's an idea. I wish the idea of evil to death. That's what the previous video was about. That is the idea of wishing, praying, and manifesting the death of evil. It's not even as much about thinking of it as a person, just as this is a force of nature, or this is something that's created that's given power because we give it attention in a way. So I want to starve out that idea by proving that idea has no business existing in our reality, by proving I tried to integrate it in every single possible way. And the only thing that I can think of that makes it make sense is to realize, number one, a childlike way is the only way to integrate it. And that means, well, you would believe that fear exists as a child, but you would also believe there's a way to destroy fear because you would realize as a child, I don't like fear. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like adrenaline rushes, but that's like if I got on a roller coaster and it gave me a rush because of the fear, I would know that. I would not just get on the roller coaster and be having fun because I like the idea of going fast because I'm Ricky Bobby. So, this has been a wonderful conversation. I'm glad that we could take part in it. I wish you the absolute best. You are all my Ohana. I love you all. I absolutely refuse to forget about any of you because the only thing I don't believe is my Ohana is evil. Evil and fear. And I'm about to forget all about evil and fear because I don't want evil and fear to be a part of my Ohana, because if you're my Ohana, then I'm bringing that bitch with me. If I believe there's anything special about me, it's like, well, if I stop believing in fear, maybe I can affect the rest of the world in that way because we're all connected. We're all one. So if somebody does the work, that's all it takes, right? That's what I believe about being the chosen one. It's a job. You know, it's not necessarily really fun. You do stuff that should be fun, but the reality is everybody's going to benefit from the work that you did. So everybody else gets the best end of it, and you kind of get the shittier end. And it's not even like it's a shitty end, because if I could choose any job, this would be the one, being a superhero. It's just, I had no idea it didn't take, it was going to, or rather, what form it would take. But it really ties into, you know, adventure, excitement. A Jedi craves not these things. And all I wanted to be was a Jedi as a kid, or a superhero, or Batman, or Superman, Green Lantern, any of the Spider-Man, you know, Wolverine. Basically, every superhero we hold dear. Tommy Oliver from Power Rangers, I guess, would be my ultimate wish. But yeah, that's the stuff that means matters to me. And all at the end of the day, I wanted to experiment and prove was, yeah, the stuff that matters matters, and the stuff that never mattered never fucking mattered. I'm only not going to stop the video right now because that would be really arrogant, because I know that was like a really badass thing to say, but I'm just not that. You know, I'm the greatest American hero. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. Look what's happening to me. It should have been somebody else, but somehow it's fucking me by default. Like, that's what I meant by I wish Grimmy Bear was here. That's Christina Victoria Grimmy. She is the light of my life. She is my spiritual life. And she's who saved my life, protected me, empowered me. She's my soulmate. But she's also the best and most wonderful thing that this world has produced next to Jason David Frank and Robin Williams. Um, there are other people who share all of those qualities, but what you find within Jason David Frank, Christina Victoria Grimmy, Robin Williams, this beautiful girl named Dolly, who went by the name of Dolly online. Um, her full name was Caitlin Nicole Davis. And she was a little girl who vlogged a lot. It was very funny. Just, oh, she was the best. And she took her life on Facebook Live. And people, myself included, called 911 repeatedly and they refused to do anything. That never became a news story, no matter how many times I tried to talk to people about it. Um, as a matter of fact, when I started seeing it originally, people just kind of ignoring it that it happened, it made me feel kind of crazy because I was like, well, I know I was calling and I was writing in the comments that we were all calling, but all of those videos were removed from the internet, so the proof was gone. I mean, there's still a way that you can see her last video, but the original post where those comments would have been was removed. And so, yeah, I believe in the best of the world, and I believe in honoring these people who came to me and taught me that everything I valued about life, I should absolutely not give up on. And, I don't know if I mentioned this young man, Creed, and I truly understood that something was really wrong when I was facing difficulties due to a criminal case that was the result of autism and had nothing to do with any level of violence. And when I reached out to Creed's mother, who I had known and had made a video for and had had positive interactions and had explained what had happened and had known in my heart, like, this could have happened to her son, this was happening to me, and I wanted this case to get the attention that it needed to prove that this kind of treatment to anyone is dangerous and detrimental and serves no positive outcome. I had a mental breakdown in public, and as I have now realized, mental breakdowns are very therapeutic. They are very good for you. Um, because if it was dangerous for me, I would have hurt someone that day. I would have done something other than knocking over a display of water bottles. Oh my God. And you said some shit. Yeah, I said some shit. Did you do anything? I knocked over some water bottles. And I was already in a great amount of pain, and that was why I was having that mental breakdown. It was the result, you see, of pain, stress, and trauma. And I've seen that the world, when you're at your weakest, wants to crush you. That sounds paranoid, doesn't it? I have now seen that I have defied medical science. I have now seen that very bizarre things have happened to me and have created obstacles that did not need to be there. That if you were trying to convince me I was the problem, you then made me into a worse problem. And the only way that I proved that you were in fact a problem was I sat here going, how can I prove to myself that nothing I'm doing is problematic? Well, I've went and proven that to myself. And that would mean that if anything bad happens to me after I post this video, that is a pure act of retaliation on the part of evil. Now, the fun part is I also know they can't, end my life because they've had many chances to try that. So all they could really do is try to make my life more hellish. But since I've already walked through hell, um, I wouldn't recommend it because then you've gone and proven to the world what you're doing. Seriously. If I'm just a crazy, fucked up lunatic, well, I've cured myself because I have no interest in talking to anybody on this internet anymore. Because when I was saying beautiful, wonderful things, nobody gave a shit. So I've seen it's a waste of my time, and the universe has proven to me that I am taken care of and provided for. So I have no reason to do anything other than pursue my own happiness and just keep in my heart the wish, which was I don't believe anything about me is so totally special that nobody else could live this way, deserve these things. I've seen that help was granted just because help will always be given to those who truly have no evil within their hearts, who are just like, yeah, I really do wish evil would fucking die, but that's because it's evil. And it almost seems like it would be more evil not to wish evil death. I mean, especially if you've already proven that you would want to help evil. I mean, I would forgive evil. It's done the worst things to me. I've seen it do the worst things. If it was able to be cured and helped, and we could do that, man, I would be the first to fucking do it. I do want to. That's the last part we should talk about. That's where we should end this because I do want that to be known. But I've seen that if the only thing special about me is I have some kind of magical capabilities, and if I know in my heart, like, yeah, if evil was curable, if it would want help, we would be working together right now. And so, unless it comes out of the woodwork and, proves that it wants help and that we all need to forgive it and that it's repentant, I would be the first to be that devil's advocate. But if it doesn't want to do that, then that's the universe I believe that if you existed and if it was just about a choice you made in your heart, if you see that evil will never stop hurting people, is it not wrong to not wish that evil would just be stopped? I mean, that's the whole goal of the wish. It's not even as much about it being dead as much as just, well, in my mind actually, if evil stopped being evil, then evil is dead. Whatever was wielding that evil, it's not that thing anymore. It's a new thing. So evil did die because if it wasn't capable of being something else until a certain point, then that's a sickness. That's a wonderful place to end this on. That really is. That makes us all feel good, doesn't it? I hope it does. Anyway, you all are so wonderful out there. Why? Why would I have a reason to not think you're wonderful? What have you done to me? Nothing. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if you knew about me, you'd like me, I'd like you, and we'd go have fun. So, yeah. Thank you very much. I love you.